Hello again, Saber World. This is Goodman. This video will showcase the Mara Saber recently built by Korbanth on his recent run on FXS. Thought I'd do a quick spotlight of this Saber. Very pleased with how it came out. Thought they were well worth the price. And he's selling a few more, so if you're on the fence still, hopefully this video can show you either a reason to get it or honestly a reason to hold back. So this Saber is based on Mara. We're all familiar with her character in our favorite movie series, To Be Unnamed. The Saber is very well made. It's constructed of a single piece of aluminum from here all the way to the front. There is a second piece, which is the ring itself. This does detach, and I'll go ahead and do that here. That does come out, and the control switch, which is made up of a 5mm main LED and a set screw, little button screw rather there, that disassembles also, and then the rear pops off and comes out. But bottom line is it's very simply constructed. Rather than making these grips individual pieces, they're actually milled directly into this single Saber body. I like the idea because it keeps the Saber more rigid and obviously probably lower on cost rather than having a whole bunch of different grips to bolt on. The screws are real. Everything comes out. I'll give you an idea. These were meticulously drilled and then threaded. I'm not sure if it was intended or not, but there is you can't see this, but there is a very fine radius, really shallow radius along the whole line, which appears to be either the drill dragging, or I'm just not familiar with the Mara Saber enough to know if that was an intentional line or not. Either way, it's not a deal breaker for me. They're shallow to the point where if they're really a bother to you, you could easily unscrew all of these threads, take this down with some sandpaper, and then re-screw it, and you wouldn't have that shallow radial line. Moving to the back, fairly simple. He used I'm not sure exactly what these are called, but I've seen them before at hardware stores. Again, simple, but it does the trick. A lot of these Sabers are either going to be sitting in a display case as a MR style quote-unquote display, or we're going to be converting them anyway, which is the main purpose of this video. So not a big deal to have this as a pop-off cap. We can undo the set screw here, and that'll remove the cover deck, and the entire assembly slides out. Let me see if I can find my Allen wrench here to do that. So this then slides out, and it's just a tube, and that tube is fairly narrow. For people looking for conversions, you're going to be ditching that tube anyway, so again, not a big deal. Because the Saber is relatively small and essentially hollow, it is very light. I'll give you an idea of its size comparison to an Anakin MRFX, the FX Sabers. So a little thicker than I think what a lot of us are used to in this Saber, and frankly a lot thinner than a lot of us are used to. You can see it in my hand. It's very narrow. I'll put this next to a couple of other Sabers. For example, this is a 1/1 scale Larble Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it gives you sort of an idea of how short it is and how narrow it is. Again, it was built for a lady, so it seems more delicate, I would say, but definitely not a deal breaker for me. The more I look at it, the more I like it. I like the fact that it is sleek. Sabers, I suppose, shouldn't be huge lugs of metal. They are an elegant weapon, again, as we know. So, not a big deal on the scale. So, a few of the other small details. He used a Graflex switch here. It also doubles as a set screw, which is a nice feature if you're looking towards a conversion. Right now, the Saber as it sits, if I go ahead and pull this out, is It's just over 1.1 inches. It'll fit just about anything. This is an ultrasound board. That fits in fine. If you have two 14500 cells, that fits in there snugly as well. So a lot of potential with the Saber for conversion. The main thing you're going to want to look at is creating an adapter for a 1-inch blade or a 3/4 inch blade up here in the emitter, and obviously setting up a chassis of sorts to hold the electronics in the Saber. With that, it actually appears to be a fairly straightforward and ultimately probably one of the more easier conversions of the variety of Sabers that Korbanth produced. So this is the first of probably 2 or 3 videos in the series. The second video I'm going to go ahead and make will show the interior layout of the chassis that I'm planning for this Saber, just a basic electronics module, nothing fancy. And the third video will show it all powered up with a violet blade. So stay tuned and keep on watching.